Bills Mafia, before we jump into today's loaded update, let me start with this. This team is working every single day to get better, to tighten the details, sharpen the execution, and fight for every inch so we can bring home the results Buffalo deserves. And as we break down all the injuries, the roster reshuffle, and the latest drama surrounding Darius Slay, I need you to do one thing to support the channel. Smash that like button, drop a comment, and make sure you subscribe so more Bills fans can stay informed. By the way, Bills fans, if you want official Buffalo Bills gear, jerseys, hats, or the new Sideline pieces, I left the link to the official store below. It helps the channel and keeps you geared up for the season. All right, let's get into the story. Bills Mafia, as we march into a massive matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals on December 7th, the uncomfortable truth is this. Josh Allen may have 2 fewer weapons for the second straight week. Tight end Dalton Kincaid, the team's leading receiver before his Week 10 hamstring injury, is officially questionable. Meanwhile, wide receiver Joshua Palmer is listed as doubtful, and every indication points toward him being out once again. And let's be honest, this couldn't come at a worse time. Buffalo's offense has been trying to reestablish rhythm, recreate its identity, and get back to the explosive, efficient, unbreakable version we've all seen flashes of. But injuries have tested the depth, the play calling, and even the trust Allen has built with this reshuffled receiving core. Let's break down exactly where things stand. For a moment earlier this week, it looked like Kincaid was on track to return. He practiced 3 straight days, but it was limited, and what fans noticed immediately was the knee brace. The hamstring? That seems healed. But now the knee, an issue dating back to training camp, has flared up again. He was limping between reps, trainers were monitoring him closely, and inside the building, the feeling is that he may need 1 more week. If he's out, that's 4 consecutive missed games from a player who had become Josh Allen's most reliable security blanket, especially on 3rd down. Before his injury, he led the team in receptions. He led the team in catch rate. He led the team in consistency. Losing that, again, is huge. Then there's Palmer, and this one stings. After the knee-ankle injury he suffered on October 13th, he missed 3 games, returned on November 16th, and the pain came roaring back. He didn't practice once, not even limited reps. Sean McDermott didn't sugarcoat it. I don't know if it's been a setback as much as, overall, he's just not in the best place right now, in terms of his body and his injuries. That's coach speak for he isn't close. And when McDermott says a guy is not in the best place, it usually means they're further away than fans realize. Between Kincaid and Palmer, that's nearly 40% of Allen's recent passing production potentially missing against Cincinnati. And Bills Mafia, we aren't done. 2 major defensive starters are already ruled out, Joey Bosa and Terrell Bernard. Right tackle Spencer Brown is questionable, and the team might hold him out to avoid further risk. That means Ryan Vandemark likely steps in against a Bengals front that loves to blitz. The good news? 2 players who unexpectedly appeared on the injury report, rookie tight end Jackson Haas and DA AJ Epinesa, are cleared to play. Epinesa returning is especially important given the Bernard absence and the need for pressure up front. Bills Mafia, this next part has been a whirlwind. You know the story by now. The Bills claimed Darius Slay off waivers. To make room, they released cornerback Jamarcus Ingram, a player McDermott loves. Houston claimed Ingram. Slay? He refused to report to Buffalo, citing retirement, but also dropping comments that made it clear he simply didn't want to play here. He mentioned the weather, he hinted it wasn't the right fit, and he flat out said he's deciding whether to keep playing at all. But fans and insiders see the writing on the wall. Slay wants Philadelphia, and refusing to report may have been his way to force that outcome. McDermott was asked about it Friday, and you could hear the disappointment in his voice. Yeah, it's unfortunate that unfolded and went down the way it did. Then he immediately pivoted to praising Ingram. "I'm a huge Jamarcus Ingram fan and will always be. I want the best for him." That tells you a lot. McDermott is loyal to his guys. Losing Ingram hit him harder than losing Slay, and he made that very clear. When asked if the team would still consider Slay playing here, he shut it down. "I'm really going to focus on our team right now." Translation: if Slay isn't all in on Buffalo, Buffalo isn't all in on Slay. But here's the key point many fans have missed. The Bills still own his rights. Slay's on the reserve did not report list. If he chooses to play again, it must be for Buffalo, unless the team negotiates a release or trade. So this story may not be over. In the middle of the chaos, Brandon Beane delivered a fast counterpunch. Buffalo claimed former first-round pick Darnell Savage from Washington. Savage brings in elite speed, coverage versatility, starting experience, and something Buffalo desperately needs: defensive back depth. The Slay situation was messy, but the team recovered quickly, decisively, and quietly improved a position of need. Bills Mafia, let's zoom out. This week felt chaotic. Injuries, roster moves, unexpected drama, frustration. But here's what matters right now. The Bills still control their own destiny. Josh Allen is still playing elite football. The defense, even with injuries, has been resilient, and the locker room remains unified and focused. This team has been tested all season, but every time they're pushed, they respond. And Sunday against Cincinnati, that's another opportunity to do exactly that. When this season kicked off, the Buffalo Bills pass rush looked like one of the top units in the NFL. Joey Bosa arrived and instantly elevated the front. Ed Oliver came out of the gate like a man on fire, delivering that unforgettable Week 1 performance that set the tone. Buffalo looked aggressive, explosive, and outright dangerous for a while. We all believed this was going to be one of the best pressure units the Bills had fielded in years. But Bills Mafia, 12 weeks later, things look very different. Joe Marino from Locked On Bills pointed out a stat that tells the entire story, and it isn't pretty. According to Fantasy Points data, here's how the Bills ranked in weeks 1 through 9. Second in the NFL in sack rate, 9.5%, fifth in pressure rate, 43.2%, and third in pass rate over expected, plus 14.17%. Those numbers reflect a defense that was not just winning, it was dictating games. But then came weeks 10 through 13, and this is where it gets hard to look. During that stretch, Buffalo ranked 31st in sack rate, 1.8%, 30th in pressure rate, 26.4%, and 31st in pass rate over expected. Bills Mafia, that is not just a slump, that is a collapse. A front four that once energized the defense now looks flat, slow, and inconsistent. And heading into a matchup against Joe Burrow, one of the smartest and most precise quarterbacks in the league, that's a nightmare.
Because if the pass rush doesn't show up, Burrow will carve up any defense in the NFL. We need to be fair and honest here. Injuries have absolutely gutted this group. Ed Oliver has been on IR since October 26th. Joey Bosa battled a wrist injury for weeks and now misses Week 14 with a hamstring issue. Several rotational players have missed time as well. And in any defense, especially a Sean McDermott defense, pass rush continuity matters. But that can't be the entire explanation, because there's one player who's been healthy nearly all season and still hasn't delivered. Greg Rousseau is supposed to be the guy right now. A former first-round pick, an extension worth $20 million per season, a player the Bills expected to grow into a foundational pass rusher. But through 12 games, 3 sacks. That's it. In a year where Buffalo desperately needed him to blossom, Rousseau has struggled to finish plays, struggled to win one-on-one matchups, and struggled to live up to the investment the organization made in him. And now, with Joey Bosa out, with Ed Oliver still unavailable, With A.J. Epinesa dealing with a foot injury that kept him out of practice, Greg Rousseau must become the engine of this pass rush. This team has no choice. If Rousseau doesn't step into that leadership role, physically and emotionally, the Bills will have a hard time putting any pressure on Burrow. And if you let Joe Burrow sit comfortably in the pocket, the game ends early. Let's call it like it is, Bills Mafia. This is the biggest test of the season for Buffalo's defensive line. Not because of the standings, not because of playoff stakes, but because the identity of this defense is at stake. The Bills built this roster expecting the front four to win. McDermott's entire defensive philosophy is built on generating pressure without blitzing. And right now, the Bills cannot do that. Against the Bengals, that has to change, or Buffalo will be in for a very long afternoon. All right, Bills fans, now it's your turn. With Kincaid questionable, with Palmer likely out, with McDermott addressing the Slay situation head-on, do you believe the Bills will rise to the challenge against the Bengals? How do you feel about Slay refusing to report? Are you confident in the depth stepping up? Will the offense have enough firepower without two key weapons? I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment right now and let me know what you think Buffalo's biggest key to victory is this week. And before you go, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with another member of Bills Mafia. We're building something special here, just like the team is on the field. Official Buffalo Bills gear, new drops, and exclusive items, all in the link below. Check it out, Bills Mafia. Go Bills. See you in the next one.